Good morning. This video is for the assignment that is called Tone and Mood Clues and Stations, and the intention is for you to watch this on Friday, October 16th. That is when I will be out, and there will be a substitute for those of you who are face-to-face, and my request is that you complete steps 1 through 4 that I'm about to review below. Alright, so the first thing I'd like to say is please be respectful to the substitute and stay on task. If you are struggling, as it says right here, some of you struggled with the assignment on Tuesday, so if you're struggling, first thing I'd like you to do is ask 3 friends. 3 people around you first, and if they aren't able to help guide you, ask Mrs. Dompierre or the substitute if she's not in the room. If you're still unclear, leave a comment below on this assignment. There will be an option once I post this, or send me an email. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to respond right away, but I will get back to you this weekend. Alright, so what are the learning expectations for the day? First, obviously, you should watch this video, which you are doing right now. So then after that, you're going to open up this tone and mood worksheet, which I've actually created a copy for you on the top right of your screen. And this is what it looks like. Now, you don't need to put your name and date because it'll be automatically in the assignment title, but you can. I just want to review that tone is the author's attitude. So there are a bunch of choices for what you can write for tone. But essentially it's going to be a feeling, an emotion. For this worksheet, you do not need to use this word bank at all. It's simply there in case you are struggling to find the right word. But obviously there are thousands of other words you could use to describe the tone. Mood. There's a word bank for mood over here. Mood is the atmosphere of a piece of writing. It's the emotions aroused in a reader. So if you're reading something scary, maybe you get spooked out. That's your mood. Maybe you're reading something that is really funny and the mood is kind of silly or ridiculous. Maybe you're reading something that's full of love and it makes you feel romantic. Mood is how you feel when reading something. Tone is the author's feelings and the author's attitude, and mood is yours after reading it. At least the expected mood. Alright, so there are 7 total questions for this assignment. Do not worry about this happy poem. Don't worry about this happy poem. In fact, I'll even write do not do this yet. So you don't have to do the happy poem. Just ignore that until I get back. Alright, so how do you complete this activity? Questions 1 through 7. So for each passage, you identify the tone, what words and context clues are used to convey the tone, and the overall mood of the sentence. So here's the sentence we're starting with. Shrieking into the room, she grinned widely, lit up like a firefly, and announced, "I'm getting married!" Alright, so I kind of overdid that, but what's the tone? How did I sound? If it was me, it'd be excited, joyous, full of joy, optimistic. Now here's a good word to know. Optimistic is when you are hopeful about the future. The opposite of that is pessimistic, when you don't believe the future holds much good in store. The mood. How does the reader feel when reading a sentence like this? Maybe they feel happy about it. Maybe they feel happy for her. Maybe they feel a sense of romance. And then the context clues. Okay, so this is to me a very crucial part. It shows me that you are able to identify what words convey, evoke tone and mood. So how do you know this is an excited and joyous sentence? How do you know that this is supposed to make you feel happy or romantic, perhaps? Well, there are words, obviously, and those words are your context clues. So first word is streaking. She's streaking into the room. She's not just like walking or waddling or moving into. She is streaking. I assume it's a she. Well, yes, that's she. Duh. Okay. She's grinning, so she's happy about something. She lit up, right? So like, you might walk into a room, walk into class, and you sit down. But lighting up is like you're perked up. Your eyes are wide. And then of course the exclamation mark. She could have said, "I'm getting married," period, and doesn't show much excitement. But the exclamation marks here, those indicate excitement. So I'll read the next one for you, and then you're gonna pause this video at that moment and complete 2 through 7. So number 2 says, huddled silently under the table, she clung to the only picture she had of her parents and shook convulsively as her wide eyes scanned the floor for their feet in the heavy boots. So think of this like it's a scary movie, and there's like someone hiding like under my desk, and she just is looking around for these boots that are just coming. What's the tone? How do you think she feels? What is her attitude right now? That's the tone. And then the mood. How do you think you're supposed to feel? And again, remember, you can use this word bank if you're like, all right, I'm not totally sure what word is appropriate here. All these words don't necessarily get used. And you could totally choose stuff that's not on this list. Again, this list is just to guide you if you're stuck. But I encourage you to choose your own words. And of course, the last part is context clues. What words tell you what the tone and mood are? And again, you'll do that for 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that should be done before you come into class on Monday. All right, going back to classroom. All right, so you've completed step 1. That is excellent. Okay? The expectations are that you try to get through 2, 3, and 4 today as well. And if not, those are homework due Monday if not finished in class. All right, so what is the second one? It says open up the Aaron Kelly's Bones character chart. So Aaron Kelly's Bones is a story, a very short story, that comes from the famous book of short stories called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which we'll actually read several stories from next week in class. So the directions for this assignment, it says read the story Aaron Kelly's Bones. The 2 pages of the story, I'll show you where they are in a second. As you read, I want you to focus on this thing as you read this very short story. Thinking about what does Aaron Kelly say, think, feel, do, and how does he affect other characters? What is his effect on others? Does he spook them out? Does he make them happy? What does he do? And then in this chart, you'll tell me what you observed and any inferences. And then below that, you will make an inference. Okay, now, so what is an inference? This is where it might get difficult. So what can you infer is like, what can you assume based off of what you know? It's kind of like in science, there's something called a hypothesis, an educated guess. It's kind of what this is for language arts, is an inference. So the easiest example I use is you're going to make an inference based off of what I'm about to say. So pretend you have 5 people who are playing against 5 other people on a court. And they take this round orange object, and their goal is to shoot it into a hoop to make a basket. What are they playing? Well, obviously they're playing basketball, but I didn't say basketball. You had to infer that they're playing basketball because of the clues I gave you. Court, 5 versus 5, basket, round orange object. Those are all clues that lead you to know that basketball is being played, even though I didn't explicitly say basketball. That's called making an inference. It's using what you know about the world and the words that I use to determine something. So, if you're struggling with this, I encourage you again to ask neighbors around you, to ask, substitute, ask another adult in the room. If you're still struggling, leave a comment or send an email. I'm not going to read through all these because you can do that on your own, but again, this is what you're going to focus on. What I would encourage you to do is read through these questions just so you have an idea of what I'm going to ask you, and then go read the story and then come back to this assignment, of course. And the story's so short that you can read it more than once if you really want. So let's peek at that story now. It is posted on Classroom. Now it's 2 different documents. I apologize for that, but Aaron Kelly's Bones, page 1 and page 2. So don't just stop after page 1. It'll be confusing. And here's what they look like. Page 1 is super short. Aaron Kelly's Bones. Okay, you'll read this. You can pause right here and read it off my screen if you'd like. And then page 2 and 3 of the story right here, and it'll end at the word scene, to that. Once you have finished the story, and again, you can pause right here and read it off my screen if you'd like. And you don't have to have paused. You can go and read it on your own. That's fine with me. You'll go back to this. You go back to this character chart after reading those, 3 pages of this very short story, and fill this in as best you can. Again, what can you infer? It means, okay, if he says something specific, what can you guess about him? What can you assume about him based off of what he says? What can you assume about him based off of his thoughts and feelings? If he's thinking about killing someone, you can infer that this guy is like a really bad dude. If he feels really excited to go to school, you can infer that he has a lot of friends at school, or he really likes his classes, right? So an inference is like, all right, if you look at what someone's doing, what can you tell about them without them saying anything? That's what an inference is. All right, so if you've done all of that, you've completed that character chart and this tone and mood worksheet, that is exactly what I want from you today. Now, you can pause the video right here and go and finish those. I don't want you to continue this video until you have completed steps 1 through 4. And so to give you a nice spot to remember where you've paused the video to go back and review. If you need to go to step 5, it's at about the 12-minute mark, which is almost right about now. All right, if you're still watching, I assume that you have completed steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to go to step 5 real quick, 6, 7, and 8. All right, step 5, very similar to the character chart you just did, except this is a setting chart. Now, this is for a story called The Haunted House, from the same story collection. The focus for this story is on setting, which is when and where a story takes place. Knowing when and where a story takes place really helps us frame what was happening in the world during this story. That's the atmosphere, right? That's what we reviewed in class on Thursday. When you read this story, The Haunted House, focus on the setting and what effect it has on the story. Like, the setting will play a role. The setting is almost like, the haunted house is almost like a character in the story. And how does it impact the story? So after you read, I want you to record your reflections and responses below and tell me how you think the setting affected the characters and events of the story. So right here, you include details about the setting. So when and where is it taking place? You don't have to be extremely specific, right? You don't have to tell me it happened on a Tuesday on October 13th in 2020. No, I mean, like, in general, where's the setting? And think about time. It's in like year, century. Think about where. And then here, how the setting affects the characters and events in the story. So that is a very important question. It's tough. But how do you think the setting affects the people in the story, the characters, and what happens in the story? How does the haunted house play a role? All right, so with those questions in mind, this is posted on Classroom as well. It's 2 pages, Haunted House, page 1 and 2. Just like with Aaron Kelly's Bones, you'll read this first page. You can pause and read it off of here if you'd like, or you can do it elsewhere. In Classroom. And then here's the second and third pages of the story. When you're done with that, go back to the setting chart and complete it as best you can. Okay, have you done all that? Awesome. There are 2 assignments on No Red Ink. One is called Commonly Confused Words. And the next is an extra credit assignment. I believe it's called like extra credit October punctuation, something like that. Okay. Done all that. You're 100% on your No Red Ink. Awesome. I want you then to read your Reading Zone book. If you have it, or if you're already done with it, that's even better. Work on your book project, which is going to be due. When you're seeing this, it's actually not 3 weeks. It's almost 2.5 weeks. So I'll write that. And I will not talk anymore. I wish you the best of luck. Again, please reach out to others if you're struggling. And if you're still struggling, reach out to an adult in the room and still reach out to me. All right. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Monday, or if you are online on Tuesday, I will be Google Meeting at 1 o'clock. All right. Have a great day.